Hello and welcome to Prep Eve. I hope you guys are following the CELPIP speaking test series. If not, do subscribe right now and also hit the bell icon so that you get updated every time I upload a new video. To understand this video, you will have to watch one of my previously uploaded videos mentioned right here, wherein I've explained the performance standards on which the raters evaluate your speaking test. And in this video, I will be telling you how those performance standards are different for CLB 9 and CLB 10 level, which means what do you have to do differently to score a 10, move upwards and score a 10 in your speaking test. Let's get started. The chart that you see on your screen is for the CELPIP speaking band descriptors. There are 4 performance standards and these band descriptors describe what you have to do to score a 3 till 12 band score in all of these performance standards. So if you watched the previous video, you would know what these 4 performance standards are. First one is content coherence. The second one is vocabulary. Third is listenability. And the fourth one is task fulfillment. Now I'm going to zoom in so that we can focus on band 9 and band 10. You might ask me, why am I focusing only on these 2 band descriptors or these 2 CLB levels? The answer is simple, that for most of my clients or anybody who is preparing for their Canadian PR application, they would need to score at least a 9 or 10. Anything below 9 is not going to help them in scoring a competitive CRS, and anything above 10 will again not help them because the CRS score remains unchanged. So the CRS does not change if you score 11 or 12. That is why the capping is at 10 and we will be focusing on this itself. Let's start with the very first performance standard on which the examiner will evaluate your speaking test, which is content coherence. I hope you can see better now. So what do you need to do to score a band 9 in content and coherence? First of all, you have to present information and support ideas with moderately complex reasons. So the reasons that you give to justify your ideas should be moderately complex. They should not be completely simple. Now moving on to 10, what should you do differently to score a 10 in content coherence? You will have to communicate in moderately demanding non-routine situations. Routine situations are easier. Those are scenarios which you have encountered before and have some sort of experience with. However, non-routine situations tend to be demanding because you have to put some thought into it, and this is utilized especially in questions wherein you have to give your opinion or describe an unusual image. We'll discuss all of that once I start solving the questions. Second is you have to present information and develop ideas with clear descriptions or reasons. Now, if you see, this point and this point look very alike, but there is some difference. Here you have to give clear description or reason. So your reasons have to be clear. There has to be some clarity, and you have to develop your ideas, which means that you have to explain in detail whatever the ideas are. Moving on to the second performance standard, which is vocabulary. This is also similar to the one in your writing task. So let's have a quick look. I'll minimize myself further. So to score a 9 band in your vocabulary, you have to use common or context specific vocabulary. Common vocabulary is day-to-day vocabulary, the words you use on a day-to-day basis, or content specific, which is topic specific vocabulary. So context specific basically means the vocabulary that is specific to the topic at hand. So if the topic is related to food, you use words related to food. If the topic is related to travel, you use context specific or topic specific vocabulary related to travel. Now I'll quickly give you a task in the chat box. Write certain topic specific words for environment. This is your topic and I want you to write the topic specific words for environment. Second bullet point is use some figures of speech and idioms. Some idioms should be incorporated, and when you take classes from us, we would give you a few idioms that can be used in almost any speaking test. So there are some 4-5 idioms that are applicable to most situations, and once you are mindful of what the situation is, you can start using them anywhere depending upon how you frame the sentence. Now this point is exactly the same as the band 10 descriptor, so use some figures of speech and idioms. However, the first bullet point changes a little, so you have to use a range is variety of concrete and abstract language. This is crucial. Here to score 9, common content specific vocabulary is also allowed, but in case of 10 you have to showcase a range of concrete and abstract language. So your vocabulary needs to be much wider or vast. Now what is concrete and abstract? So concrete means tangible ideas. Tangible ideas are ideas that you can feel through your senses. You can see, hear, smell, and these are factual ideas. However, abstract ideas are to do with your emotions, so intangible ideas or emotions. So you have to showcase certain feelings, emotions, and concepts here. An example for the concrete language could be that the pizza was crispy and its crust was thin. However, it could be made abstract by saying that the pizza was delicious. So abstract is a concept, which is that the pizza was delicious. Something that's factual or concrete is that the pizza was crispy and had a thin crust. To score 9 in the next performance standard, which is listenability, you have to speak with some control of complex grammatical structures. So you need to have some command of the grammar, and you have to speak intelligibly with mostly fluent rhythm, pronunciation, and intonation. This means that your rhythm, which is your pace of speech, your pronunciation, how you pronounce words, and intonation, how you emphasize on different words, the rise and fall of your words or your pitch should not impact your speech. It should not interfere with your speech. And the exact same thing is also mentioned in your 10 band descriptor. So if you notice, this is exactly the same. You have to speak intelligibly with mostly fluent rhythm, pronunciation, and intonation. And here, what changes? What is different from 9 to 10? Speak with good control. Here you have some control, a bit of control on the grammatical structures. Here you have good control of broad range of complex grammatical structures. So here grammar plays an incredible role. So what you have to do is, if you enroll with us, you will also get the access to our effective communication and grammar course, wherein all of these details are listed and explained properly. So you don't have to worry about how you would move from a 9 to a 10 band score. We will help you out with that using our courses, and you will move from some control of complex grammatical structures to good control of a broad range of complex grammatical structures. And since some of you requested, I will be sharing the link of the effective communication and grammar course in the description of this YouTube video. So you can click on that and directly enroll if you want to get started right away. The fourth performance standard on which your speakings are evaluated is called task fulfillment, which basically checks whether or not you're fulfilling the task at hand, which is why something that remains common throughout 9 and 10 band scores is whether or not you're able to convey your ideas to others when you speak. So as you can see on the screen, these two bullet points are exactly the same in 9 and 10. Then what makes the difference? The difference is in the first bullet point. So to score 9 in task fulfillment, you have to adjust your speaking style and tone to a range of audiences and situations. So here you have to do it for a range of audiences and situations. In case of 10, you have to adjust your speaking style and tone to a broad range of audiences and situations. So that is the major difference. So in both the cases you will come across different audiences. It could be your co-workers, your siblings, your parents, your niece, your nephew, your friends, and you will also come across different situations such as situations at workplace, at home, in a community setting. So you have to have a lot of exposure, and if you have that kind of exposure, you will be able to get a 10 if you showcase broad range of style and tone depending upon the audiences and situations. So if you observe carefully, there are not many differences between a 9 band score and a 10 band score. There are slight differences, and those slight differences are going to make all the difference in your results. So if you are someone who wants to get at least a 9 band score or more to ensure that you get your PR, these two should be in your list. You should remember these two rows and columns so that you're able to provide the examiner with the same in your speaking test. Let's take a quick recap of the differences. So 10 means highly effective proficiency in workplace and community settings, whereas for 9 it is only effective proficiency. To score a 9 in content and coherence, you have to showcase complexity of reasons when you're answering the questions. However, in case of a 10 band score, you have to give clear descriptions and be comfortable with non-routine situations. For vocabulary, more or less everything is the same. The range is the focus. If you're scoring 9, you're using common context-specific vocabulary. To push yourself to 10, you have to showcase wide range of vocabulary. Do not try to become Dr. Shashi Tharoor or William Shakespeare. That is not needed. You don't have to use big, fancy, complicated words. You can use simple words as well, but make sure that you use a wide range of vocabulary wherein you're using synonyms, you're using tangible and intangible language. Then is listenability. In listenability, the only difference, surprisingly, is the control of complex grammatical structures. In case of 9, you have some control. In case of 10, you have good control. Everything else is the same. If you do not know how this is supposed to be executed in the exam, you can definitely enroll into our classes and we'll tell you what it takes to move from a 9 to a 10 band score. And last but not the least, for task fulfillment, again there's only one minor difference. Here it's range, here it's broad range. That's all for today. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comment section below, and don't forget to like this video, because these are the 3-4 things that you have to keep in mind whenever you are taking the speaking test. And if you guys want, you can take a screenshot of this. Otherwise, you can comment or WhatsApp on the numbers given in the description, and we'll share the PDF files with you on your WhatsApp number or your email IDs. Bye bye, take care, see you soon.